Yes. I certainly thought that Matthew was excellent in the movie, or Ferris Bueller, or I always But when you went through the casting, which it was incredible with the different characters that were being played, how did you go about that? Because it seemed to meld into with Matthew very well.
The casting, well, you know, it really was, except for Michael Kenneth Williams, who played the roommate, who was a guy who was performing. I don't know if anybody here has seen The Wire. You probably know him and love him as Omar. He's a great, great actor, and he'd never done anything. I mean, he has this scar that goes down his face, and you know, he's been pretty much typecast as macho characters or as gangsters mostly. But I always thought that the character of Omar had in The Wire had a lot of soulfulness to it, and so I lobbied for it, and the rest were just auditions.
You're making it sound easier than it was, Josh. I mean, he wrote this wonderful script that, you know, I fell in love with and wanted to produce, and Matthew was the first attachment. And I don't know if any of you saw the film last night. Julie Lynn was talking about you sort of get a domino effect in the film. So once you get one actor of a certain caliber, agents and actors look at it differently. Like, oh, Matthew Broderick's doing this, and they take it seriously, even though at the time the film wasn't financed. So our first attachment after Matthew is a wonderful actress named Sophie Okanido, who was going to play this Sanaa Lathan role, who'd been in Hotel Rwanda. And she was attached for quite some time, and then about the time we got financing, she got another film that conflicted, is when we got Sanaa. And then Michael Kenneth, well, we had a great casting director, Joanna Colbert.
Yes, she did a great job.
Who I went to high school with.
That's right. That's right. And she cast, I produced Hollywoodland, and she did a great job and dug deep. And then there's always a challenge when you're doing a movie on location, though, because you don't have enough money to fly everyone in. So you try to cast as many parts as possible from, I mean, not to be most working. I mean, there's great actors all over the country, but people who the most experience are usually in the bigger cities. And so you try to cast who can, but your budget doesn't afford it, so invariably you cast a lot of people locally. But Jodelle, we got was a find that Joanne done.
Yeah, Jodelle just sent in the tape, the daughter, who was great.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Is she was a local person?
No, she's from Toronto.
Vancouver.
And
then I remember, now that you remind me of the casting, I remember the judge we cast out of Shreveport, I think we didn't have him until the day before we shot that scene, or maybe 2 days before we shot that scene.
There was a woman up front of this.
I was to know that you're a singer. How long have you been playing the guitar?
How long have I been playing the guitar? I don't play the guitar. I tried. It turns out that's really hard. Yeah. The 2 weekends I spent did not do it. So we did a lot of bakery, and some of it was good, and some of it isn't quite as good as other parts.
It was good in the close shots.
In the close shots, it's okay. Yeah. Don't tell your friends that.
But you did sing. Very nice job.
There's a question.
I have a question for Matthew. Are you a terrible driver because it seemed to give you lousy cars?
That's so true. I know. That's absolutely true. I'm a reasonably good driver. But I ended up with Ford Fiestas. I don't know what this one was. What was this car?
I don't really know cars. I have no idea.
I drove a Festiva or something in an election. Terrible. But, it gets you there. And good mileage. That's about all you can say for it.
Gentlemen.
Were there changes, and what were they between when it was like read by a lot of people or green
We didn't do, there were one or two budgetary changes, but not a whole lot.
Josh, I must have disagreed again. the big change, the voiceover.
Oh, I didn't thought you were talking about before production in the scene, right?
Did you read through the making of, or?
Yeah. We made a number of post-production changes. I think that sort of comes with the territory. One of the things we had was originally had a voiceover by the man that we cut out.
You narrated the whole film, and,
Yeah.
and much to testament your performance, when we took it out, you watched the movie completely differently, and rather being told this is the most cynical man in the world, you could see it. Like, I still love that scene in the diner when you're talking about the incarnation.
Oh, yeah. Nobody comes back as a paramecium.
Museum guard.
Yeah.
And you're watching that scene, like, did you just say that to her? So, we found that you just engage with the movie much more differently, and I think much to the betterment.
I feel there's still some disagreement about this.
It was good both ways.
This is a question for Mr. Broderick. I thought you had a really great rapport with your on-screen daughter. Is that something that you have to work at? I mean, did you spend time with her, get to know her, kind of?
A little bit, not consciously exactly, but we did sort of play around and chat a lot on the set. I don't know, I instantly had a nice rapport with her. I just thought she was so cute and nice and funny, and but it's I mean, she's not she's old, she's an actor, but particularly with younger kids, you have to, I think, your friendship off camera or between takes has to go kind of right into the take, So you try to feel comfortable with each other, but with her, it was just extremely easy. I just instantly thought what a nice daughter that would be, and I always found her just absolutely lovely to be around. She didn't like me, but as long as one person likes the other.
Because I have children, I recognize Dan Zane, the children's performer in there. Was that tongue-in-cheek, or is he crossing over to serious acting, or what was the thinking there?
Well, the acting part of it wasn't tongue-in-cheek. He happened to have been on the set that day, but he wrote the song that Matthew sang. He also wrote all the guitar pieces that Matthew plays. So he was very much part of the film, and I have two kids too. That's how I know. That's how I knew to call Dan James, or to try to find a way to call Dan James. But he's great. Yeah.
He's like a big part of the film, I think. His music and the feeling of him was very in it. Gotten to know him a little bit.
Yeah, Matthew plays on sings on his next CD.
Yes, available July 29th. Somewhere.
Do you sing with Carol Channing on that, or that's separate?
I don't think Carol, is she on that?
She's on it too.
I think you're right. You're absolutely right. I just sang one little teeny thing. Yeah, it's a Broadway album, so there's a lot of Broadway singers. Carol Channing and
Matthew Broderick.
me and various others.